Combo challenges. Not every fighting game has them, but when they do, it's a neat feature. Now, there's a discussion to be had over how useful they actually are. Some games tend to make them more difficult than practical, but in a lot of cases, they at least give you an idea over what kind of combo paths you can go for, what links into what, and what can be put together to create some decent damage when you land a successful hit. NetherRealm hasn't exactly been known for these, although you can somewhat take away from the 3D games and their conquest modes, but it is rare that you'll actually have a set of challenges that increase in difficulty from character to character. This wasn't the case in Mortal Kombat vs. DC Universe, however. Although this game is infamous for various reasons, one of the more memorable sections was the designated Kombo Challenge. It would feature 10 combos for each character, getting increasingly difficult the further you go. You had achievements for clearing these, so players of all skill levels would go for them, but they were all over the place in terms of difficulty though. Some characters were a complete cakewalk, and others were more difficult to clear, making some rather funny stories of specific combos people just hated looking back on. For today's video, I figured I'd go over every single character's combo challenge and rate them from easiest to hardest. This experiment was a lot of fun, and I hope you enjoy taking a trip down memory lane with me. Why not start off with the easiest characters? Those whose combo challenges were so simple that you can clear them in a matter of minutes if you know what you're doing. And even if you don't, they're still simple once you get the pro moves out of the way. Pro moves being specials that had extra inputs for more hits. Kind of like chain attacks, I suppose. Lex Luthor is probably the easiest character in the game to clear. You get the special inputs out of the way, and the actual combos the game has you perform are beyond basic. String into special, string into jump attack air special. There's nothing remotely challenging here, and I guess it's because Lex doesn't have a strong combo game anyway. He gets okay damage in general, but his pro moves are really simple, and they don't exactly push what his combos are capable of. A simple clear for sure. The only challenging thing a player might have with Jax is the chain inputs on some of his pro moves, but once you figure those out, his combos are super simple. You do get some neat ideas over what kind of basic combos you can do with Jax if you do his challenge, but it's all bread and butter stuff. His challenge is less of a challenge and more of a basic combo demonstration. This is another character that you can clear extremely fast. Shao Kahn is another character that is effortless to clear, another character that has easy pro move inputs, and the combos you perform are far from his optimal damage. This one feels more like showing you what can be done, and leaving the rest to the player to find more damage with, because even his later challenges are child's play. Sub-Zero may be one of the game's stronger characters in the meta, but you wouldn't know that from his combo challenges. These are easy to do. His bigger combos still leave a large room for error, and you don't have these long chains or complicated inputs to juggle. Everything you do here is layer 1. You learn the inputs, and you clear the combos with no effort. This is one of the easiest to beat by far. Captain Marvel, or Shazam I suppose, is the final character in this tier. This combo challenge feels more like it's just teaching you the moves and various options you have from specials that can do more than one thing. The combos are just an extension of what launchers and stuff this character has, and nothing tests the player at all. Only thing you might find weird is going into specials that have other enders, but that's not really something that will get a player stuck and unable to progress. There is nothing restrictive here, so, like the others, you can clear it with no effort. Okay, so our next section are characters that you can't really beat the challenges blindfolded, but are still not hard to grasp. They just might have a couple of things that will take a bit longer to clear than a couple of minutes. The last section was easiest, this one's just easy. Sonya has some larger combos that require more than one pro move to complete, and this can be where the extra clear time comes into play. If you main a character, you know the timing anyway, but if you don't know how to use the character at all, you'll take a bit of time just learning what to press and when, and then you have the rest of the combo to clear afterwards. That said, this is the only reason Sonya isn't the absolute easiest, because the combos themselves are pretty cool, but nothing challenging. You'll probably hear me say this a lot in this section. Now, Batman is only marginally in this portion, because I honestly could have just as easily put him into easiest. His combos are barely combos at all. There's just a couple here that might require specific stage positioning to work, and in finding those positions, a new player might have a weird time wondering why jump kick into Batarang doesn't work, for instance. But he's very, very easy. He is barely in this section of the tier. Kano is a smooth clear. Nothing he has is difficult, but a couple of challenges require a pro move into specific juggle timing. He too has quite a few combos that feel like they require wall positioning to work, and even if it's not a requirement, it does make them easier for sure. The combos that require buttons into late Kano Ball are quite common with his challenges, and his final challenge with Knife Toss into Kano Ball is one that a player might find strange at first, because you've got to be pretty precise to get the ball to hit. Once you know it though, it's good to go. Baraka is a really easy character to complete, but he has some large combos by this challenge's standards. I kind of think I'm cheating a little bit here because I did used to main Baraka back when I was a teenager, so I kind of knew these inputs anyway. But these combos are quite forgiving when you put them together. There's just more inputs than usual, and he has the ability to go into blade stance, which for a new user of the character feels weird at first. His combos show you some practical options that you can actually use in a real match, so he has some of the better challenges overall, in my opinion. Kitana might feel a bit strange with some of her challenges. They really liked teaching you how to do a deep jump kick into air fan, which actually feels like a real introduction to the Kitana that we would have later in every other game. But once you get the fiddly inputs in your mind, the combos themselves are really simple. She has one in particular that feels strange, involving standing 2, into standing 1, into down 1, into uppercut, which I don't think is practical at all, but it is quite tight. The strict timing required, although they are simple combos, is why Kitana is where she is in my list. Scorpion is a weird character for his combo challenges. Most of them are easy enough to get through, but he's one of the offenders of you can do the combo as listed, but because you didn't wait for the 2-hit normal to hit at the end, we're not going to count it as complete. He has quite a few strings that will hit 2 times, but you can special cancel both of the hits, so you'll think you've done the combo finally, but you haven't. The only hard thing is finding what moves to let rock, and his final challenge requires the entire screen to work properly. If you start mid-screen, like the game always does, this combo doesn't work. His challenges aren't hard, they're just really annoying. Speaking of annoying, the Flash is another one. His combos are easy to do, but you've got to be in specific positions to do them properly. Launching people into a full screen dash, running in and doing a slow launcher in time without it dropping, all of these combos are easy when you know where to stand, but you don't know where to stand at first, not until you experiment, and this is the only thing that will make the Flash's challenges take longer than they should. In regards to difficulty, he is an easy clear. Superman is another easy one in this list. However, the only difficult area one might find is just how many pro moves you have to do. He has quite a lot of combos that require more than one, and he's a character that has more than a double input on some of his pro moves too. If you know these pro moves, you can do these combos in your sleep, but if you have to learn the timing, this will be where the extra clear time comes into play. The combos are easy, you just need to learn the pro move timing, and he has so many that this might trick a few players into thinking that he's hard to complete. Green Lantern is a menace in the meta of MK vs DC, and his challenges are super easy to beat too. His challenges are impressive because they don't look like much, but they really like to show you how often you can pick up a lift into combo extensions. The lift is one of this character's most devastating tools, and the combos, while easy as hell, show you what kind of damage you're looking at even before you optimize it yourself. His challenges are simple, but they show the power of some of his stronger attacks. It's really impressive. Wonder Woman is another character who is annoying but not exactly hard. Some of her challenges require certain parts of moves to hit to actually accept the challenge is cleared. There's one where she has to do 2 down ones into the leg flurry, and I think the final hit needs to land for it to clear, even if it's already hit 4 times, which is really irritating. But again, like the others, she's just a case of figure out the right positioning, and then you're good to go. A notable challenge is one of her later ones where you have to be near the wall for it to work. But again, it's not difficulty as much as knowledge required. Once you know, you can do it however many times you want. Darkseid is the final easy clear, and although a sub-boss, shares Shao Kahn's list of really easy to perform combos. He's got some later ones that are a bit strict and actually feel like they're legit BNBs to be fair. I don't know if they are or not, but it showcases his combo tools, which can be quite lengthy. It's the length of some of these combos that make him maybe harder to clear for some players, and his straight-hitting Omega Beam hits really high up as he's such a tall character, so combos requiring that need to be done early enough for it to actually juggle. But overall, Darkseid is not a hard character to get through at all. So we've gone over every character who is easy to clear, whether that is completely effortless completions or those that have 1 or 2 slightly more technical things to learn. Now, it's time for what I would call medium difficulty. Characters who have simple enough combos, but there are some examples that will be more tricky to learn for some of their key challenges. The Joker is the first one here. Now, 9 out of 10 combos are extremely easy to beat. So much that I was thinking of putting Joker into the easy tier of completion. But there is one challenge in particular that haunts the dreams of MKDC players back in the day, and although it looks simple, it's really annoying. One of Joker's final challenges requires you to do down back 4 into the 2 launcher twice in a row. That doesn't sound like much, but the timing is so ridiculously strict that you can do it tons over and not get it once. This challenge is the only reason his trials were more annoying to complete than most, and when you finally get this combo cleared, it is a sigh of relief. Good lord, is it irritating though. Liu Kang is a character who requires multiple pro move inputs to get his trials complete, mostly involving air fireball into flying kick, which is strict as hell in a lot of areas of the screen. In learning bicycle kick into air fireball into straight kick, you're probably going to pull a few hairs out, but it's the only thing that makes his trials more tricky than most of the cast. You'll be just fine in most of his challenges, but the ones near the end that need bicycle kick into pro moves will be a lot harder than the ones you've come across before. Of course, once you know the timing, it's fine, but it's getting there that's the challenging part. Deathstroke is fiddly because, like Baraka, he has a weapon stance. You'll need to swap between these stances for some of the challenges, and even then, some of his combos are very screen dependent. You'll need to be near the wall, sometimes against the wall, sometimes you'll need to juggle them fast enough that Gunshot will connect, which has a pro move on the end. And like Scorpion, Deathstroke has some moves that hit twice, making you need to let the full string hit to move on to the next challenge. He's not hard to clear, but there's enough in here that you need to get comfortable with first that will make his trials that little bit more challenging than the majority. Catwoman is in this list because there's some stuff here that you have no idea that you need to do. It takes a lot of experimentation. She's like the Joker, where most of them are super easy, but there's 2 instances where you have to think outside the box. Her final challenge, which has to be done mid-screen, otherwise the pro move completely whiffs, making it a very tight mid-screen combo. But the main one is just before that, where you have to do some extended juggles, but the pro move seems to never hit at the end. Whether it's mid-screen or against the wall, you'll swear this combo just doesn't work, because every single time, the pro move on whip doesn't hit them. I had to stand just near the wall, but not fully, so that I side switch and have to get close enough for the full combo to connect. It requires doing the whip in reverse and then the pro move in reverse as well. How the hell was I supposed to know that? And just like that, there's 2 characters left, both of which have some combos that are so insanely tight and tricky to perform that they take the cake on hardest combo challenges, in my opinion. Both of which, by the way, are Mortal Kombat characters. The first is Shang Tsung. This guy has easy enough combos for the most part, but there are some in there that are really annoying for no reason. There's one where you have to do 2 neutral jump punches into a launching skull. This alone is really tight, and it kind of reminds me of the Joker's example. You do the same thing over and over, and you get it eventually. But you're going to be here for a while. But it is the most infamous combo, the one you're watching right now. Slide kick into pro move jump, slide kick, pro move jump, slide kick. This one is one of the most irritating combos in the entire game, and you'll be at it for a while before you actually beat it. I had to try various stage directions, different jump heights to hit the punch, not forgetting that you have to hit the pro move twice anyway, and even then, the final slide seems so tight to land that you'll finally hit everything else, and the final slide just doesn't combo. This is the only reason Shang is one of the hardest characters to clear, and it's often one of the combos people talk about when they say that MK vs DC's combo trials were straight up unfair. And the final character in the game, Raiden. This trial requires a bunch of different pro moves and some combo examples that you're never going to use in a real match and feel so restrictive that why even put them in besides difficulty? First of all, using the teleport pro move standalone is fine. It's so easy that you can do it without trying. But for some reason, the teleport pro move mid-combo feels a lot more strict, almost a different timing entirely. But there are combos in this list that require comboing into pro move teleport, which surely isn't something you'd do in a real match because it feels entirely pointless. Either way, the final challenge Raiden has involves 2 juggles into pro move teleport, a fast standing one, and an instant jump kick into charge. You will go mad figuring out how to get the final jump kick to work with the flying charge, and it will probably take you forever to realize that a neutral jump kick is the way to go. But even the neutral jump doesn't really work unless your timing is perfect. This combo took me forever to figure out, and it is a real headache until you get that all-important clear into thank God for that, I'm never doing that again. Combo challenges are always a fun way of learning a character, especially if you get in-game rewards for clearing them. They're important for players of all skill levels because they give you a bit of a head start before you start exploring things yourself, but the ones in MK vs DC are one of the more standout areas of the entire game, and the fact they all had achievements behind them meant that everybody wanted to clear them. It was a fun little interactive section of the game because people would help each other out, people would ask, hey, how do I do this character or that character? And it's something that I fondly look back on so many years later. Thank you for joining me today, and I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you want to give any extra support by supporting my Patreon, subscribing to the channel, or just giving this video a like, it is always appreciated. Take care everyone, and I'll see you next time.